We weren't supposed to start ending the meeting until
Okay.
they changed everything.
Yeah.
We will do group pictures after, but we're gonna let the Mark swear in.
The old gray mare. And figure out how to spell that. All right, who wants to go? Oh, look at there, a volunteer. Again, same thing, feel free to go wherever you want for pictures. These are, at least I got two. All right, ready?
Yeah,
Take a breath.
go slow.
I Josh Benish,
Joshua Bennett,
Just kidding.
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge the duties
and impartially discharge the duties
of the office of Councilperson Ward Two
of the office of Councilperson Ward 2
in the city of Chaska,
in the city of Chaska,
the county of Carver,
the county of Carver,
the state of Minnesota,
the state of Minnesota,
to which I have been elected
to which I have been elected
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. This is Josh. This is your personal thought.
Thank you. All right.
So. Leah. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. I, Leah Shevlin,
I, Leah Shevlin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Councilperson Ward Four
of the office of Councilperson Ward 4
in the city of
in
Chaska,
the city of Chaska,
of the county of Carver,
of the county of Carver,
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
to which I have been elected
to which I have been elected
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability, so help me God.
and ability, so help me God.
Congratulations. Congratulations. This is yours, Leah. This is your personal copy.
All right, well, he makes his cameo appearance here.
He's leaving the building.
Yeah.
I might not be done yet.
Okay, all right, all right. Oh, yes, this is true. So at this point, we'll take some pictures, and then get to,
Yeah, so I'd say recommend that you have a motion and a second to go into let's say a 5-minute recess.
all right, I'd like to entertain a motion for a recess.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Graf,
Second.
second by Councilmember Benish.
Right.
All those approved, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion, all those opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries.
I'm a by the way, so I'm not in the back.
Yeah, I will do it.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Right? That's my oldest, yeah. And then
How old?
Now we're live.
Yep.
Uh, Entertain a motion to come out of recess, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to come out of recess.
I'll second.
I don't think our mic's running.
Or you
Hold
make
on.
the motion. And then
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, I gotta make the motion?
so entertain a motion to come out of recess. So moved. or-
I would so move the notion to come out of recess.
All right, so I have a motion from,
Second?
oh yeah,
Second? Second.
all right. So a motion from Councilmember Shevlin and a second from Councilmember Benish to come out of recess. All those in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? Okay, carries.
We'll
We
get
get the
it.
hang of this.
We'll get it,
It's gonna
guys.
take
It's
me-
okay.
It's gonna take me a little while. And moving along the agenda, next is to say the Pledge of Allegiance. So please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before the meeting gets going, usually we have a whole agenda that we follow. I wanted to say a few words and then also maybe give an opportunity to the two new incoming council members if they want to say anything, but, just because it's just that time, right? And we got all these smiling faces here, and I just want to touch on that. I look around the room and I see so many familiar and smiling faces. I just want to say a few words and a few thank yous. I want to thank everybody that is here tonight that showed up, and also maybe is perhaps watching online. I think showing up and showing support is essential for a thriving community and for the leadership. I have a quote taped on my computer, which I told Matt this morning, that, it says, great businesses are built not by extraordinary people, but rather ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I think the same is to be said for building community. And I want to thank all of you for caring deeply enough to take the time out of your busy lives to show up and support all of us, even former mayors. I also want to thank our two new council members, Councilmember Josh Benish here and Councilmember Leah Shevlin, for rising up to take on the role. I'm excited to see the energy and perspectives and input that you'll bring forward to the benefit of this community. As you walk this journey, I'm sure you'll find it to be oftentimes rewarding and maybe sometimes challenging. And elected leadership roles aren't easy, but it takes a special kind of person to be willing to serve in this role. And it requires time to learn, to engage, act, and also courage to stand by the decisions made. But the honor of serving in this role is an opportunity of a lifetime. And so I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the community of Chaska for the support. I had so many meaningful conversations during my campaign with a wide array of topics, from backyard chickens to property taxes. And while opinions over those topics may have varied from house to house, there's one thing that's certain. Chaska residents, they love and they care about their community. And that love will always be the motivation to work tirelessly on behalf of the community. I also want to thank some special people in the room here that have helped me during my campaign, whether it was door knocking, translating literature, proofreading materials, giving advice or encouragement. I'm grateful for all the love and support. I want to thank my assistant at the studio, Summer. She stepped up and really handled my business when I had to step out and leave early from time to time during the course of the campaign. I really appreciate your dedication. I also want to thank my loving family. I want to thank my husband, Martin, and my son, Ethan. They sacrificed a lot during this campaign. Martin, you're my better half and the love of my life. I want to thank you for your love and also be there, also that you were always there to listen and encourage my dreams. Ethan, you sacrificed a lot of your own time and helping me and also our time together. I know that's not an easy ask for a young man such as yourself, and you never complained and you were always very understanding. I really appreciate that and love you. last but not least, I want to thank my mom. I don't know how many people can say that they were able to have such a bonding experience with their parent as running a campaign, but I'm extremely grateful to have literally walked this experience with you. All the neighborhoods, streets, doorbells, dogs. You were a part of it all. It would not have been the same without you by my side. And it frankly would not have been as much fun. As a parent, you do anything and everything to help secure the dreams of your children so that they can stand tall and shine bright. And at 42, I want to thank my mom for continuing to help me achieve my dreams. Thank you, and I love you. And with that, I just want to say thank you and support to all. So open the floor up if either one of you want to say anything, but I want to make sure I got this while we have the captive audience here, because then otherwise you guys don't have to stay, you can dash.
No, I would just say I'm looking forward to this challenge, and I'm looking forward to working with the city and the residents of Chaska to continue to make us good and make us even better and see where we go from here. And I think it's exciting, and I can't wait to see what the next 4 years holds. And hopefully I can be a ear for any and all of you and be a sounding board for you as well. And I want to thank my family, my wife, my two boys at home watching, my two stepkids, Colin and Alicia, their Nana, my mother-in-law. Thank you guys for your support. So let's see where this goes. So I love everybody. Thank you.
I'd say the same thing. I think my family just left, but I. But I couldn't have done it without them. We have very busy schedules because my husband and I both work. So we have a live-in au pair, and even down to my au pair helped me with getting this off the ground and making it happen, and will continue to help on Monday evenings when I'm here. And to the people on Canyon Road, it was really their idea that got this started. And I joked there might have been more wine consumed that night than people, but it was a really great thing because we really talked about how we wanted to see the city benefit people, how we really wanted to have things more transparent, just many things that came up that night. And so I'm hoping, along with the rest of this council, we can make that and much more happen over the next 4 years.
All right. We'll do great things together. Okay, so following the agenda now, I'd like to do roll call. Elise, will you please take a roll?
Councilmember Hatfield?
Here.
Councilmember Benish?
Here.
Councilmember Shevlin?
Here.
Councilmember McGraw?
Here.
Mayor Hubbard?
Here. And next on the agenda is to adopt the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve agenda. Second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, say nay, and motion carries. All right, next on the agenda is visitor presentation. So are there any visitors who would like to address the council? This is the time we've set aside for such things. So as you approach the podium, sir, could you please state your name and address for our records? And
Bill Smith.
remember that you've got to keep those
Harvard.
times to 5.
Carver. Thank you. Mark Windshuttle, obviously former mayor, but first off, I just want to say once again, congratulations, Madam Mayor. Exciting times, so congratulations. Council members Benish and Shevlin, again, congratulations. Thank you for stepping forward. But all of you have taken on a huge responsibility. There's so much more to this job than coming here, seeing a meeting, doing this. There's so much community involvement that's involved in these processes of being on council. And going through your packets, make sure that you take the time to packets. They take forever. But it's important because you can come in here and you're so much better informed, and when the presentations all start coming together, it goes, oh yeah, I get that. Or if you have a question, you go, oh yeah, I remember where that is. And it's easier to find than if you've not looked at it. It makes a huge difference. So that's a big responsibility. That was my Sunday nights before council meetings, was spending the night going through the packets. And wait till summer when they're like 700 pages long. But they're not bad. They're only 700. So don't worry about it. But again, I just want to say thank you. Be prepared. the residents elected you and you're making decisions for them, some of your neighbors. This is so much different than big politics. These are your neighbors, your friends, family, could be anybody. And, you know, it's about how you present yourself and how you deal with those folks. And I have all the confidence in the world. Ask for help. These three that have been sitting on the council have great knowledge. Use them, not all at once, one at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't want to violate that, but they're great people with the wisdom and knowledge that have been sat right where you were. When they first started on council, I couldn't even hardly get a motion out of them. I finally asked, can I make a motion? Remember that? You guys wouldn't, neither one would say hardly anything. So, and you're gonna go through that, but you'll get, and now they're, like I say, now they're not afraid to speak up, speak their mind, and they all have a different aspect of life that they can bring into these meetings. And so that's important and use them. And you got great staff. You got tremendous staff. If something's not clear, go to them. It just makes your job so much easier. Use them. They're more than willing to help you out, and they're great folks. So I think that's about it. So good luck. I know you guys will make us proud. Keep us going all in the right direction. I heard it already in your messages. So thank you all, and thanks for stepping up.
All right, any other visitor presenters? All right, otherwise, all right, moving along. Next is approval of the meeting minutes from 12/16/24. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of December 16th?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Hatfield,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shevlin. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign, motion carries. I'm getting it down, Mark. All right. All right, moving along, we have the consent agenda. So the consent agenda is a block of items that need little or no discussion, but anything can be pulled from it if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
The only thing I'll just point out, mention is each year we have to appoint a mayor pro tem at the beginning of the year. And so that would be the person that would be in place of the mayor if she's not able to be at a meeting. And the council established a policy that basically has that rotate between wards each year so that everybody gets an opportunity to be mayor pro tem at some point to keep it equal and between people. So this next year, Councilmember Hatfield is the person that's sort of next up based on our policy, and we'll do the same thing next year, the first meeting.
All right, wonderful. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain that motion.
Motion to approve consent.
Okay, she beat you out.
Yeah, she did.
So I got a motion by Councilmember Hatfield.
I'll second.
All right, second by Councilmember Benish. All right, all those in favor say aye. All right, opposed, same sign. All right, consent agenda adopted. All right, and then moving along on the agenda, we have no action items. So that's wonderful for all of us in this room. All right, so that moves us along to bills. Anybody have any questions in regards to the bills? Otherwise, I would entertain. Councilmember Wong always had a few questions, so this is a bit weird for all of us here.
I did look through them thoroughly and didn't have one.
Trying to find questions. I did as well earlier when I looked through, but sadly I found none. Okay, well, with that, if there's no questions or discussions, I would entertain a motion to approve the Oh, wait, we have to do roll call for that, don't we? Okay,
We do need a.
oh, but we do a motion at first. Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to approve the bills. So,
Motion to pay the bills?
all right, motion by Councilmember Grau.
Second.
Oh, all right. Second by Councilmember Shipman. All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hatfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Benish,
Yes.
Councilmember Shufflin.
Yes.
Councilmember Grau,
Aye.
Mayor Hubbard.
Aye. All right, motion carries.
Big Mike's roll.
All right, that leads us to other business. So at this point in time, what we usually do is kind of go around the room, and if you know of any community events or anything that you want to talk about in relation to, city, you can say that at this time. I will start with Councilmember Grau.
Sure. I'm just gonna pull this one right off the bi-weekly because it's potentially exciting because there might actually be ice. That's the fire department ice fishing contest, Saturday, February 1st from 1 to 3 at Fireman's Park, Chaska Event Center. I say that because I think it's how many straight years we haven't had ice and actually ice fished for it?
It's been a while.
So let's, for those
At
who,
least two, yeah.
yeah, for those who want warm weather, just let us get to ice fishing. But it raises money, it's a host event, raffle tickets are being sold, but it's a fun, help support the Chaska Fire Relief Association. The only other thing I would just comment, just a shout out, I've took the opportunity several meetings ago to talk about the opportunity to have support other groups in the community, as well as get my kids involved in other things other than what we typically are on baseball fields and basketball courts. So we attended, saw the former mayor back there, the Chaska High School dance team's home event, where they do kind of a exhibition with the city of Waconia was there, and they have different events, and they do performance. And just a shout out to those young women who, that's the most hard work and the most physical endurance it's not easy. And I've never done it. They also have I laugh because I smile because they have a father-daughter dance, and my oldest son looked at me. He's like, "I'd like to see you doing that." I said, "You never will." But just a shout out because it's amazing what people's passions draw them to do. It was packed, really well attended, and it was just fun to see. And a shout out to Waconia for joining because they came out and it's, like I said, just kind of an exhibition, and they perform and have different cycles. So just a shout out to all those young ladies who pour their hearts and souls to that talent and exercise and beautiful performances. And that is all I have.
Wonderful. Okay, I'll switch over to Councilmember Hatfield next.
Sure. A few things coming up that are exciting. This Saturday from 10 to 1, actually the Southwest Metro Chamber, hey Steve, and the Parks and Rec joined forces to put on a wellness expo from, I think I said this already, 10 to 1 at the community center, right?
Yep.
Thanks for the head nod. And that's pretty exciting. So this is the first one of those, and there's a lot of vendors signed up. So encourage everyone, kick off the new year with your resolutions. Go to the Wellness Expo. Looked like a lot of good vendors. And then also coming up on January 20th from 7:45 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. at the Chaska Event Center, our amazing Human Rights Commission always puts on the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration. And this year, Shayla Michelle Reeves, who's an Emmy Award-winning television journalist and author of Echo in the Distance, will be featured in a keynote address, or she will be giving the keynote address, and Dr. King's words will be featured in that. I just read this in the wrong order. So, and then the Chaska Human Rights Award ceremony will pay tribute to past recipients and announce the winner of the 2024 award. So it's always a really amazing event, and I always really appreciate sitting at a table of people I usually don't know and getting to know some neighbors that I've never met before, and getting to celebrate an important day. So I encourage everyone to attend that. I was just telling when as I walked in, it's something I always mark off on my calendar way ahead of time, so I don't have any meetings scheduled, so I can attend. So I encourage everyone to go to that. And then I also just wanted to welcome our new council members and also invite you, the Downtown Business Alliance. I am the liaison to that, and wanted to invite you guys to an upcoming meeting so you could see and observe and see how those meetings go and what the downtown businesses have to say. And they'd like you to attend one of those. So I'll have Elise send out the think this Friday, isn't
This
it?
Friday.
There's one this Friday. They're at 7:30. So nice in the morning, 7:30 a.m. on once a month on Fridays. So there's this Friday or the February one if you wanted to come to one of those or could. That would be great. And I think if we have 3, we'll just make sure
We'll just
Yeah.
make sure we post
to
it.
post it. So wanted to invite you guys to that so you can see how those meetings go and get to know some of our businesses downtown. I think that's it. That's all I had.
All right, Councilmember Michelle?
Again.
No report. Okay, how about you, Councilmember Benish?
Only thing that actually just came to mind is for those of you who enjoy bingo, Schrammhaus Brewery is now doing bingo every Thursday, instead of every other. And it goes to support the Chaska Lions. So, if you guys like that, it's a good time. And now it's every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. I believe it is. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Stuff.
Hmm?
Stuff.
Oh, yes, yeah, all right, police. All right, Mike,
No report, Your Honor.
Matt.
The only thing I was just gonna mention is we have a new business in downtown that opened up, Jones Coffee. Down the old Dunn Brothers location. Bunch of us were down there today. And place was packed. It was great to see. So take an opportunity to go down there. They have lots of different drinks. I mean, more than just coffee. They have lots of specialty drinks too. So welcome to the community.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, their drinks are great. It's a wonderful atmosphere, so. All right, well, I guess what hasn't been mentioned is, well, I wanted to clarify, or just at least, you spoke on the ice fishing contest that's coming up on February 1st, which is at the Chaska Event Center. That supports the Fire Relief Association. And I always like to mention that it's the Relief Association and not the actual department. There are 2 separate entities. And what's really nice with the Relief Association is that money goes towards certain budgetary items that the relief does. They have, stuffed animals that they give, in times of the crisis for the, children that are, whether it's medical or a fire. They also went to support the Class A uniforms of the retired relief association members and just other camaraderie building sort of events and things with that membership. So it's a wonderful thing to support and it's a really fun event. There's lots of raffles and drawings, opportunities to kind of meet different community members, even if you don't ice fish. So it's a great thing to be a part of. Otherwise, just the last thing would be, our upcoming meeting here, our next council meeting is actually going to be on January 27th. So normally it would have been on the 20th, but that's Martin Luther King's Day. So we won't be meeting that day. So it will move over to the 27th. Otherwise, that's it for me. So I guess following this meeting will be go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we do have an EDA
Yep,
meeting.
there'll be an EDA meeting following this meeting. So I would like to, we still have to close this though. So I'd like to make a motion to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion by Councilmember Benish and
Second.
by Councilmember Hatfield. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, or nay, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Good job.
Thank you. I did it.
The trick is you gotta call us all commissioners now.
Yes, that's true. Now we gotta change gear.
That
So
was the
thank
real
you, everybody for coming.
Yeah.
You can stick around. You don't need to though. So thank you. Good luck, Lisa, tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
The other one.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
Fill it right there.
Yes.
All right.
She came to my house and I was like, where do I?
I know, I told
There's
her.
door knock.
Switch up gears. Are we still going? Okay. All right. So, all right. I would like to call the meeting of the Chaska Economic Development Authority for January 6th, 2025 Elise, will you please call a roll?
Commissioner Hatfield.
Here.
Commissioner Benish.
Here.
Commissioner Shevlin. Here. Commissioner Grau.
Here.
President Hubbard.
Here. All right, next we'll adopt the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve agenda.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Commissioner Hatfield.
Seconded.
All right, I have a second
He's
by
taking so much delay.
Commissioner Benish, I know.
It took him 14 years.
It did. Hopefully it won't take me as long. All right, any discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, next is the approval of the motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 16th EDA meeting.
Motion to approve meeting. Go for it.
Motion to approve the minutes of the EDA meeting
All
from December
right.
16th.
I have a motion by Commissioner Shevlin
Second.
and second by Commissioner Grau. Any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, moving along, we have our consent discussion items. These are items that need little to no discussion, but we certainly can answer any questions. Any questions or discussions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Benish.
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Hatfield to approve the consent discussion items. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, next on the agenda, we have the action items. So 6A, authorize a contract with the Musicant Group to develop a downtown Chaska activation plan.
President and commissioners. The item in front of you tonight has to do with coming up with a plan to help activate those areas that we constructed as part of the specifically as part of the Highway 41 project and some of the paseos and things. Elise is going to go through and sort of talk about what is the plan. Why do we think it's important to have develop an activation plan for this area, and what do we expect the results will be out of this? So I'll turn it over to Elise.
President and Commissioners, as you saw during the work session, one of the priorities of the City Council in the past has been a vibrant downtown. And that you see some of that in the 2012 Downtown Chaska Master Plan that was approved, and then it's also in your in the current strategic plan that in 2025 Chaska has a vibrant downtown. So some of the things that have been completed to date out of those plans is the redevelopment of Fireman's Park and the event center, as well as the downtown Highway 41 reconstruction project that finished in late 2023, as Matt alluded to. Really that made a lot of changes in not only in the roadway itself from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, but they increased the width of the sidewalks, removing the parking off of Highway 41 to the backside of the buildings. And then this creation of this paseo network, in particular on the east side, but the idea is that will be replicated on the west side as things redevelop on the west side. So now that these roadway improvements have occurred, there's still some things that we have left to do. The banners have been designed. They'll be ordered shortly. They'll go up in the middle of the highway there. We have some history kiosks that will be going in. Again, those have been designed. They'll be installed later this spring. And so those are some additional items that will be completed. But what we're talking about tonight is something a little different. And it's really how do we, as Matt alluded to, activate these spaces, not only by the city, but how do the businesses and the Business Alliance have the tools to be able to do this? So in the past, the city has engaged a group called the Musicant Group, and their specialty is really placemaking. So how do you engage the public and others in these public spaces? And so we've talked to them about developing, a plan of action, a toolkit that we can come back to businesses in the city with. So in particular, the work that will be included is engagement with the businesses, engagement with the city staff and others and other downtown stakeholders. And if approved, actually, we've talked about having them kick off this Friday at the Business Alliance meeting. And we've had some preliminary discussions with the Business Alliance about it, and there's a lot of enthusiasm about how do we use these spaces. So in addition to just the engagement around it, there will be assessments done just of the spaces, of existing programs, of funding, of continued maintenance of the spaces as well. Those are kind of the first things that happen. As we continue through, we'll talk about some pilot planning. What they'll do is help us, give us some ideas of events that we can do, not only, again, the city, but how do we get the businesses to engage in that? Or if the chamber would like to use those spaces, how does the chamber engage with that? So really what will come out of it is recommendations for an activation plan. So we've talked about physical improvements to some of the spaces, potentially programming and event ideas, management systems of the spaces. So not only how do we maintain these and manage these long-term, which is really important and sometimes easily forgotten about. Talk a little bit about storefront and paseo improvements that might want to be done, and then obviously implementation support. So as staff, we would have some support then to help initially get this going as well. So again, I talked about, we've discussed this with the Downtown Business Alliance. There's a lot of enthusiasm. There may be some financial contributions as well, potentially, that we've talked about. That has not been all ironed out, but I just mentioned that. And by working on this now, the bulk of their programming actually occurs kind of beginning in the fall. With a lot of it happening November, December timeframe. So this actually allows us the time to plan and then implement these activities. So we're recommending that you authorize us to the execution of the contract with the Music Hand Group for this work. So I'm happy to answer any
One
questions.
quick addition. We do have a professional services line item in our EDA budget, so we have sufficient dollars to be able to cover the cost of doing that in there.
The Downtown Business Alliance has been pretty excited about this once it was brought up. I think it's a lot to ask business owners to do more than just run their business, but to also figure out how to get people in and around downtown. And so I think this is a really nice way we can help aid in that and help make sure that our downtown has people moving about and that we have programming and not only that, but like the businesses know how they can use downtown to their advantage as well. So I think this is very exciting to see this coming up, and definitely that's what I've seen is the Downtown Business Alliance fully supports it. So
Is this an annual? Do we foresee this as an annual, or is it just like a one time and then we learn from it and future years we continue to use the learning?
The idea is that we will get so while the contract goes for a year and it's kind of over, the bulk of the work is over 9 months, we get this toolkit we can take back with us and then use.
Yeah, the timeline, is it gonna take, how long will we start seeing action items out of that?
Let me look.
Okay.
So we talk about in January is when a lot of that engagement will occur. And then really, February and March is when the bulk of that activation plan is starting to be developed. And then as we get into the spring, the nicer weather, when people are more likely to be out and about, is when you'll start to see some of those pilot programs actually starting to happen. And then kind of, we talk about it running through September, but that's kind of that implementation, the gathering of data, that sort of thing.
Sure. That's wonderful. I think it's great to see kind of the ball getting rolling right away and seeing action happen with that. So I know sometimes it can take a while to get input and bring all stakeholders together and make a plan. So it's exciting to see the kind of some of the dates on that. So any other questions?
I was just I asked this question more, I'm gonna be careful how I ask this because I don't want it to feel like it's not a question of skepticism, but it's a question of how would the city define success of it, right? Because the one line that does jump out to me, which is, I get it, right? But it says, agrees to deliver professional quality work, but offers no guarantee of any particular result, right? Which is a okay statement, but I'm just curious. And again, it's not necessarily that I'm skeptical. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good idea, but I'm just kind of curious because we're going to spend money. I always like to have the vision, like what would we view as a success to spend that money? And so obviously I'm asking as a city perspective. The Downtown Business Alliance probably has a perspective as well, but I'm just kind of curious on what success looks like in general for that as a measure potentially.
Yeah, I think I see success as businesses or even the Business Alliance being able to take what is kind of talked about in this toolkit and implement it. And I think that implementation might be slow. It's beginning to, it's something different. Commissioner Hatfield, we're asking a lot of them already, and so it may take some time, but maybe the chamber's out doing events, and the Business Alliance, I mean, something we've talked about, they host Hometown Holiday. Well, how can we help them maybe use these spaces we've created, and does Hometown Holiday look different? And so it's just to give them those ideas of how to do it. I think, maybe a related example, a few years ago, the council approved the kind of the downtown or the storefront, it's not even a storefront, the kind of those rear entrance guidelines. And since that time, we've seen some businesses utilize that, right? And so that's, I guess, how I would define what success looks like.
And I looked at their website to do some research on them, and the project that stood out to me was 50th in France reactivating a premier business district and the work they did there, which if you've been to 50th in France, it is definitely revitalized. And they even talk about 30% annual increase in pedestrian traffic and high-end retail businesses whose association we manage. So it does seem like they measure their impact and want to have those results to show, which I really liked because I, like you, thought, well, how do we know this is successful? So I really like that they seem to do some measuring themselves. And also the proof is in the pudding. You can see, what they did was 50th in France. And I mean, no one's expecting a miracle. There's so many factors, but I think just having them come in and is just huge, and for us to put back into downtown and really stand behind that strategic vision of a vibrant downtown. So
To me, I really look at the infrastructure that we installed as part of the
Yeah.
Highway 41 project. And if you saw that space never being utilized, like people not hanging out there, there not being, maybe a farmer's market down the Paseo that's going down there. If none of that stuff is utilized, then we spent a lot of money on something that it's got to be more than just an investment in infrastructure. It also has to be investment or a commitment to using those spaces the way they were designed. And I think I've worked with the Musicant group a couple times over the years, and they know what they're doing. And I think I define success as people count. That we're giving people a reason to come downtown, to utilize those spaces that we've created.
I was gonna add on to what you said, Commissioner Grau, that I think a measure of success would be, with that foot traffic, would be increased revenue for our businesses downtown. So
I just have a question. As I am in professional services by day, did we put this out for a bid, and did we see what any other groups thought they could do for the same project?
For this one, we did not. The Musicant group is very specialized in what they did. in what they do, and we've had success with them in the past.
And then lastly, did we look at communities around us to give them some insight? I know like Rhythm on the Rails in Shakopee or the lakefront concerts in Excelsior, things like that. Have we given them some things that maybe they could look at as potential?
Yeah, and Commissioner Hatfield alluded to, they do a lot of this work throughout the metro area. And so, yeah, we've talked about with them, the success that Shakopee has had with Rhythm on the Rails and what others have done, so.
The really good thing with the Music Inc. group is a lot of those things that you name as success, they've actually been involved in actually sort of helping to create those.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to see the prior relationship and also as part of the process here is the engagement process where, input such as that, from all the different stakeholders can be, inputted and assessed and evaluated. It's nice to see, that outside agency kind of coming in and really giving their evaluation and look and plan towards it, because I think everyone looks through their own lens when it comes to projects such as this, whether you're the business owner or the chamber group or the Downtown Business Alliance or the city. And so you have this other entity that's taking a more evaluative look that doesn't have, that one perspective cornered, and they're able to kind of really assess. And I think we all kind of hold true things that we feel like, are tried and true, and we don't want to look at it, other options. But sometimes when you're presented with that, you find that, maybe moving locations for this or dates for that or programming for this, it can be much more successful. So. All right. Any other questions or discussions in regards to this? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to authorize the executive director and assistant executive director to negotiate, and the president and executive director to execute a contract with the Music Hunt Group to develop a downtown Chaska activation plan in the amount not to exceed $30,400.
So moved.
You don't want to repeat that?
I was gonna. You read it for me.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Hatfield. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, I have a second by Commissioner Benish. All those, any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right, opposed, nay, and motion carries. All right, this leads us again to other business. So again, this is that time with in the agenda where we can bring up other items or questions. And does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss in regards to the EDA? You can't see, nothing like that. Okay, well, that's wonderful. What about staff, police, Matt? Mike, no? All right, all right. Well, then if that's the case, that comes to me entertaining a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All right, I've got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Gra. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, pose nay. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.